What's up, my FY fly folks out there? How y'all doing? I hope y'all doing all right. Welcome to the FY Fly Podcast. My name is Hassan Thomas, aka the kid that did, and the man that can, baby. And today, we're gonna be chopping it up with the woman who has raised $1 million in scholarship, college cash coach, Miss Nia Grant. How are you? How are you?
Oh man, thank you so much for having me, Hassan. I am so happy to be here. Blessed and highly favored today. And it's a beautiful day. You got the yellow, I got the pink. Okay, it's gonna be a
Come
great one.
on. Come on. You already know that we blessed, highly favored, and highly flavored. You know we got the drip on.
Mm-hmm.
We had it on at FinCon and we're gonna keep it going, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So this is no longer FinCon. We on FY Fly. And what we like to do, we like to skip the fluff and get right into the good stuff. How that sound?
Ooh, I like that. Come on with the rhymes. Keep them coming.
Come on, dog. Come on, dog. So I think the first thing I want to know from you personally, were you always good with money, or was there like a turning point or a moment in your life where you were like, okay, now it's time to get right?
Ooh, Mr. Man That Can. That is a good question. I would say for me, a little bit of background. So I grew up in the Atlanta area, and my mom was actually my financial prowess person that I looked up to. So shout out to my
Okay,
mommy. Yes, I love her
got to
because
it.
she was so good with managing her money. I feel like good
Mm-hmm.
is that's an understatement. She was a real estate broker and she built a multi-million-dollar real estate portfolio, and even when the 2008 crash came and she lost most of it, she was still able to build back up. And she's just continued to show me resiliency throughout my life. And when you have
Mm-hmm.
a woman like that to look up to, and that is the expectation, right, that I was born into, it's like anything
Yeah,
less is not acceptable. So to answer your
I love
question,
it.
yeah, I feel like I have always been good, but that was just because of my mom. She had me learning about investments and stocks, creating a lemonade stand at 5 years old, understanding profit,
Wow.
loss. Like that's what I grew up in. So yes, I've always had a
Uh,
pretty good understanding of money.
so for the folks who, because my mom is literally the same way, not necessarily with teaching me money, but I feel like the confidence that we both have was, correct me if I'm wrong, was instilled from our parent. You know what I mean? I
Mhm.
grew up single mother, but like I said, every time, I would go to school and my confidence would get knocked down, my mom was there picking it right back up, turning
Yep.
me right back up. So for the people who weren't or aren't as blessed and fortunate to have that type of parent in their life, I feel like we're fortunate now to be born in an age of, this technology that is in abundance, the resources, LinkedIn, YouTube, all these different things. In your opinion, what should a person do to become financially confident, to become confident? What should they do to do that if they don't have that parent like we had?
Ooh, if you can't find it, that person within your life, like that physical person who you can call, who you can reach out to, you can see in person, that can provide you the financial support and education that you need, what I'd say is
Mm-hmm.
find your social media buddy. Like social
Mm-hmm.
media, I feel like we can use it for our advantage and as a good
Facts.
thing. Finding your person that you can relate to, that you see yourself in, that's like your best friend. Even though you've never met that person before, they don't know your name, you get them and they get you. And for me, YouTube is my social media platform of choice. So
Uh,
I love YouTube. I promise you, if you look at my iPhone, the time that I spend on YouTube is quite ridiculous. But
uh,
with those creators that I can relate to, I find them aspirational and I find that I can implement those things into my life. So if you don't have
mhm.
that physical person, find at least one person that motivates you, that uplifts you. Like don't use social media to feel bad about yourself, but find that one person that
Yeah,
you like, you can relate to, and just get tight with them. If they post every week, then you know you having a weekly call with your friend, okay? Whether that be on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and that's that person that you
yeah.
can use as the light to your path.
Big facts. I love that answer. It's literally changing your physical environment to a digital environment. And we can do that nowadays because we have the technology, we have the resources. So let's actually use them. And
Mhm.
Nia, I want to focus this conversation around college for the students that are in college, students that are about to graduate. So it wouldn't be right if we didn't start the conversation with the game, with the secret sauce on how you raised $1 million in scholarships. So go ahead and break that down for us. Give us the secret sauce.
Yes, yes, that $1 million. I mean, that's a big number, and it's really hard to
Facts.
fathom. So, whenever
Mm-hmm.
you're looking for scholarships, I would say start in high school. Your junior, senior year is the best time. And if you're currently in college, yeah, you can still look for scholarships. It's never too late. And you have to
Mm-hmm.
be strategic. Scholarships is just a strategic numbers game. You have to
Yeah.
apply over and over again to things that you know will work for you. And starting
Mm-hmm.
off small because small numbers add up.
So I think the biggest thing right there that people need to understand is, like you said, you're gonna have to work for this. It's not just free money. You're gonna have to work for it, and that's real life. You're not gonna get free
Mm-hmm.
money anywhere. Like that's not how life works. You're gonna
Unfortunately.
have to put, yeah, I know. You're gonna have to either put time, your energy, your money, your value. You're gonna have to put that in to get money or value or time back. It's an exchange. So I
Mm-hmm.
love how you put that, and even when I was in high school, I didn't have the big scholarships, the big schools coming after me. So I had to create my highlight film for football and send it out. I literally sent that film to over 200 coaches. You know how many
Wow.
responded? Five. But you know how many
Mm.
I needed to get a
One.
scholarship?
Just
Exactly, exactly. So I feel you when you say it's a numbers game. And for any of those scholarships, did you have to get interviewed for them? Or, like, if so, like, how did you ace the interview? Like, talk to us about that.
yes, yes. And I love that you said that numbers game. Even if you apply for
Mm-hmm.
200, all you need is one. And for me, my story, I applied for about 80 scholarships during my whole
Okay.
senior year. And the biggest ones that I got were Gates. Y'all know Bill and Melinda, you know them?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Gotta know Bill. Gotta know Bill.
Gotta go. I gotta know Bill. So Gates, UNCF, that's United Negro College Fund. Robert F. Smith funds that. If y'all don't know who Robert F.
Okay.
Smith is, you definitely should. And then lastly,
Mm-hmm.
Horatio Alger. Those three were my biggest, and all three of those scholarships required interviews, but all of those
Okay.
were very high ticket, at least $20,000 per scholarship that I won. And then
Mm-hmm.
Gates is what they considered a last dollar scholarship, so that could be up to 100, 200,000 if you need it.
Wow.
But yeah, but we can get into that later. But yes, all those required interviews because they're very big national scholarships, as you can imagine. Talk about a numbers game. I think the success rate for Gates is like 0.1% to 1%, something like that. It's like tens of thousands of
Mm-hmm.
students apply and only a couple of hundred
Yeah.
win, which makes sense, right? It's very competitive. So when you're
Yep.
doing an interview, you really have to talk yourself up the same way that you talk to yourself in the mirror, that you would talk to your
Mm-hmm.
friend. Like just record yourself and just talk about the great things that you've done and really be able
Yeah.
to articulate what you've experienced in your life and how that's helped you develop as a person, the
Mm-hmm.
extracurricular activities you're a part of, like talk on that experience because we all have our own story. And interviews, essays, applications, etc. They're all your time to shine and toot your
Yeah.
own horn. So do not be shy.
Pop your stuff, right?
You got to. You got to.
Yeah. So I was interviewing a guy who works for a resume company, and he says the thing to focus on when you talk about your when you put things in your resume is exactly what you just said, your accomplishments, the results from the actions that you've actually done. So that kind of correlates that, I mean, that I noticed that pattern, and whenever it's an interview, a resume, whether it's for a job, a scholarship, you have to be able to articulate your accomplishments and the results that have come from those accomplishments. So that's
Mm-hmm.
huge. But also what you mentioned around 1 to 2% of people get scholarships for that Bill Gates, for those like the big scholarships by 1 or 2%. Well, you also know what's 2% of people? Only 2% of people make it to play professional sports. So the other connection that I got from there is you literally have to be the top of the top in whatever realm you want to succeed in, whatever goal you want to accomplish. You're going to have to put in that work, put in those hours, as you mentioned, to get to that top one, top two, top 3% to get what you eventually need. So when you just talking, it's just all these connections just popping in my brain. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, like you said, that top of the top, the creme de la creme. It can be
Yeah.
very discouraging, right? Like because I know everybody's not like that. Like I don't know about you in school, but I had a 4.58 when I graduated high school. Like I was playing no games because I had to go to
Mm-hmm.
college and I had to figure out a way to pay for it. I
Facts. I
understand
had
that's
a
not everybody's
4.6,
story.
literally.
See, you get it. You get
Yeah.
it. But that's not everybody's story, right? And that's okay. Even if you were a straight C student, like there's still money out there for you. So don't feel like just because you don't look quote unquote good on paper that you do
Mm-hmm.
not still bring value, because there are so
Mm-hmm.
many scholarships out there that have nothing to do with your grade point average.
Really? Now you
Yes.
had to dive deep into that. Like, talk to us about that. We can get C's and B's in school and still get scholarships to go to school or go to
Uh,
college.
Oh, yes, you can. Yes, you can. Because when you think about scholarships, like what are they? If we take very zoom back high level, it's usually an organization or a person or some type of community-based program
Mm-hmm.
who wants to give you money so you can carry on their mission. So if you think of like Gates, they have pillars, right? It's like the
Mm-hmm.
community and being a good citizen to the world, things of this nature. There are
Yeah.
organizations who they just want you to have be a good person. They want you to do good things, and they
Yeah.
understand that you don't necessarily have to have straight A's on your history reports to be able to achieve that. So if you know for a fact that you
Gotcha.
don't have a 4.5 GPA, maybe it's not the best use of your time to apply for these super competitive high ranking scholarships. Maybe you should more focus on local scholarships who don't really
Mm-hmm.
care as much about your GPA, or any types of organizations who care more about the impact that you're having and not as much just your school grades.
That's good. That's good. So would you say that all of the good scholarships, the big scholarships, they're written essay type scholarships, or is there any, particularly good scholarships that we can find with no essays? Some people don't like writing,
Ooh.
so I gotta ask for them as well.
Yes, there's definitely no essay scholarships. Like when I tell you there's a scholarship for everything, like it's ridiculous. Like there's
Uh-huh.
gaming scholarships, you play video games, there's scholarships if you're over 6 feet tall. Like there's it's just for everything. Okay. Find them. Like of course you can go down Google, but we all know Google can be a black hole, right? But
Mm-hmm.
social media, it's another good thing. If you just type in like say you like to horseback riding scholarship, just on Instagram and search up that
Yeah.
hashtag, it's more than likely that somebody has been out there promoting this and doing these things. And shameless plug, you can follow me, College Cash Coach, on Instagram. I also post scholarships. Your question about no essays, yes, there are video scholarships. So just like we're doing a video right
Mm,
now and I'm talking to you, this could be my online interview, right, for the scholarship that I
gotcha.
would apply for. But another good
Mm-hmm.
tip I would say, if you don't like to write, which believe it or not, I don't love essays. I really don't like writing essays. Hassan. I don't
Uh-huh.
know if you believe that, but it's true.
I was about to
You
say you
can
applied for
use
80. I know you had to write some though.
it's crazy. It's crazy. But you can use voice to text. Just say, "Hey Siri, start a note," and just talk because
Mm-hmm.
it'll write it for you. So if you don't like to
Yeah.
physically type it out, you can just talk, and that's good enough. And you can edit it. And what I would say is most scholarships, they all have like the same essays. It's, how have you impacted your community? What do you want to do with this scholarship money? What
Mm-hmm.
obstacles have you overcome in your life? And if you can just write like 3 to 5 like really big essays and just like I said, talk and write it down, maybe 2,000 words, you can break
Yeah.
them up and just copy and paste it for every application. Like you got to be
Mm.
efficient whenever it comes to applying.
That's game right there. That's
Mm-hmm.
good game right there.
Yeah.
Facts. Facts. So we mentioned, as you said, those students that are already in school, they can still apply for scholarships. But if those scholarships aren't hidden as they need to and they're not covering everything that we need to, what would you say are some profitable side hustles that college students can do to kind of supplement that income?
Ooh, okay. This might get some good stuff right here.
Talk to us. Talk to
Ooh,
us.
we love making the money in school, and school is one of the best places to do it. I gotta tell
Mm-hmm.
you, because yes, you're in school and that's like your full-time job, but I promise you, as a recent graduate who actually has a 9 to 5 and has to go to work,
Yeah.
that freedom that you get in school, you're not gonna get once you graduate. So really take advantage of that. So
Mm-hmm.
to your question, what are some side hustles that you can do? One, which I would say, I told you I made $30,000 in school. that was through internships. So try and get
Okay.
an internship during the summer, and you can really do that by using your school to find these internships. So think about all these big Fortune 500 companies or startups or even small local companies. They
Mm-hmm.
need a talented workforce. So they'll go to like a Texas A&M and say, "Hey, Texas A&M, I need so and so students to come work for my large company so I can continue to
For
grow."
sure.
So like literally they want you. So go ahead and take advantage of that. And my biggest tip is like checking your email. Like you have a .edu while you're in those 4 years of school, and you're
Mm-hmm.
never gonna have that unless you're in school again. And that's so coveted. Like so coveted. It goes through firewalls, and people see you're in school, they want to help you. So check your
Mm-hmm.
email. That's how I got all three of my scholarships. And to put it into perspective, I made like $10 an hour at my first scholarships, my first internships. That was over the summer. I made like
Yeah.
$23 an hour my second internship, and I made like
Okay.
$45 an hour my third. So we talk about side.
Ooh,
Yeah.
what internship was that last one? Good Lord.
Last one was at JP Morgan. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So talk about how you specifically nailed that interview. Like what was that experience like? Like being a college student working at a Fortune 500 company. Like what was that like for you?
Oh wow. It was such a cool experience because this was what, 2021? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we were actually able to go into Manhattan. That's where they're headquartered. So it was like big city. I had never been to New York before. I got to go up to the big
Yeah.
tall glass buildings. I don't know if you watch Suits on Netflix, but like that was the vibe of being in
Uh-huh.
Manhattan. And it was just such a cool experience. I'm like, wow, is this what real life is like? Like, this is what it feels like to have money? Like, this is so cool.
hmm Yeah.
And how I got that was by checking my email. Literally, I'm telling you, if y'all don't check your email, you're missing out.
So
Thank
like
you.
what additional steps we have check your email, we have lock in with the interns. Are there any additional steps that we need to make sure that we take before graduation, before leaving school, to make sure that we jump off the porch on the right foot and that we're ready for adult life?
What you should do when you're in college to prepare for after college? Such a good question. This is something that I really took advantage of right when I was in school, and that's why I built
Mm-hmm.
College Cash Coach, just to help other students not just go to school, but
Yeah,
really milk every single resource that school has to prepare you for the best life that you could possibly have after graduation.
for
And one of
sure.
the things that I did in school was I actually started a business. So Nia, that's my name. It means purpose in Swahili. It's the East African language. So I started a
Mm-hmm.
business called Purpose Cosmetics. Like I told you, I was a chemistry
Okay.
major, so I was formulating the products and doing the branding and the marketing.
Wow.
Yeah, and what I did was Clemson, that's the school I went to, Clemson University. They have a
Mm-hmm.
marketing department. They have a business school. They have branding experts. So what I did was I reached out to the deans of the schools, to professors. I'm like, "Hey, do you have any students that could be possible interns for my business?" So they're getting their experience. I'm building my business. It's a win-win.
Yay.
And I'm building my network. So what I would say, even if you don't want to be an entrepreneur and start a business, do something entrepreneurial, whether that's helping somebody else out, building up your own portfolio, and
Mm-hmm.
utilizing everything on that campus. Like you said, you were not a chemistry major. I was not a business major, but I still went to the business school. If there were certain things
Gotcha.
that you needed from like the science perspective, you could go to the engineering school. If you wanted something 3D printed, like you can go to that part
Mm-hmm.
of your school. And there's just so many resources on your campus that you probably don't know about. Like most
Yeah.
schools offer free therapy and counseling. Take advantage of that. I had an
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneurial incubator on my campus, and there were alumni who sold their companies for like tens of millions of dollars. I'm sitting
Yeah.
here kikiing with the alumni, building networks and relationships that I will be able to carry with me throughout my entire life. So if you're in school,
Mm-hmm.
tap into your school's resources, your school's alumni, not just the organizations, but also the professors and other students. Like, don't just network up, network out. So before you graduate, be sure that you know some people, okay? Have a whole list of people before you
Uh-huh.
graduate.
Don't just network up, network out, network with the
Mhm.
people around you because those are the people and I love how you said and that's why when I was at FinCon I told people that. I said don't just go up to the person with the most followers, the person that you've been following. Network with everyone because
Yep.
you never know where that person might go, who that person might know, how you can help them, and then how in return they can help you. So I think that's a huge point. And what I'm really getting, and I want everybody to focus on, is utilize and maximize the resources that your school offers. You're there for 3 to 4 years, maybe longer, maybe shorter. Utilize that time, because after, you won't be able, you may be still be able to use some of the things, but everything that's offered to you on a plate and a platter in school will not be there. So I think that is a huge point. And then another another gem that I'm picking up from you is gathering, gaining experiences. Kind of like my man with the Infinity Stones, Thanos. He gaining, he's gaining them stones. Is gaining
Yeah.
experiences and picking up experiences that kind of lead you to where you want to go. And then when you have that job interview, when you start that business, you've accumulated so many stones. You've accumulated so many experiences. Now you're ready to rock and roll. So you own it, Miss Nia. You own it.
I love that Thanos analogy. Yes, you got to collect your stones while you're in college. Okay, you are
Big
missing
facts.
out. Like it's so crazy. They're about to kick me off my email, so unfortunately, I won't be able to use it anymore. But while you still
Yeah.
have it, get it for everything that you possibly can. Like honestly, you're already
Mm.
paying for it, so you wasting it if you don't use it.
Big facts. Big facts. And from the students that you're helping now, what would you say are some of the mistakes that you've seen college students make after graduation that is kind of like hindering their adult life? Does that make sense?
After college graduation.
Like some of the
Mm.
mistakes that they're initially making.
Mistakes that students are initially making after college graduation. I would say I have two, I guess. One would be lifestyle inflation. So you got the first big check, first big job, and it's like instead of, I don't know, shopping at Walmart, you shopping at Whole Foods. And like it's okay to shop at
Hmm.
Whole Foods, that's great, but you also know your bill's about to be 5 times the amount it would be at Walmart. So, maybe we
Facts.
should stay at Walmart for a little bit longer
Hmm.
until we get to that point because the
Yeah.
checks ain't hitting just yet. So that's one. And then number two is still being in that college mindset. Like, yes, college was great, but it shouldn't be the peak of your life. Like, you still have so much time to grow, continue to develop. So if you're
Hmm.
still, holding on to homecoming and the classes and this and that, like, you're not in college anymore, okay? And that's okay. Like, yes, you
Uh-huh.
can come back, you can visit, and things can be great, but still understand that there's so much more to life than just those years that you spent at college. So don't
Hmm.
get stuck looking in the rearview mirror. Like you still have to look forward to continue to move forward. Just keep going forward and
Hmm.
every day 1% better. That's the goal.
That's what it is. That's what it is. And we can't have you on FY Fly and not ask you our famous final question. So Nia, I'm gonna
Okay.
say two quotes, and I need you to let me know which one is more accurate in your opinion, all right?
Okay.
All right, bet, bet. So the first one is more money, more problems. Shout out to Biggie. And the second one is money can't buy happiness. Which one do you agree with most?
I agree with the latter. Money can't buy
Okay.
happiness.
Why you say that?
And the reason that I say that is money alone will not buy you the happiness that you're looking for in your life. It will not get you to where you want to be. It will buy you the freedom to be able to have the things that you want and that makes you happy. Like for me, what makes me happy is I love to travel. Like sure, money
Yeah.
can get me there, but I won't be enjoying the experience with the people that I love. I won't have the time to be able to do that if it weren't for money. So money alone
Mm-hmm.
can't do it, but money alone is a very, very, very big, I guess, indicator to how happy your life will be.
Yeah. Oh man, Nia, you like I said, you dropped so many gems here today. I really appreciate it. So thank you again for joining the show. If you have any final words, any final takeaways, go ahead and please, please let them know where they can reach you.
Oh, yes. Thank you for having me. Hassan, it was great meeting you at FinCon. I'm so glad I went this year because I was like teeter-tottering. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna go. I don't know. I don't know. But you
Uh-huh.
got to invest in yourself. Like you said, you have to put in the time, the money, or the effort to get the time, money, and effort back. One thing
X.
I would say to everyone is like, look, it's not the easiest process, but I promise you it's worth it. So you can do it. And I wish you nothing but the best. Continue to follow along with my journey as I continue to share tips and tricks to help you get there You can find me at College Cash Coach on Instagram and TikTok, or shoot me an email, hello@collegecashcoach.com, if you have any more questions.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. This was great. And for all of our listeners, I know we talked about a lot of gems here today, but if you could take one or two away with you and actually apply them today, I
Mm-hmm.
promise you, over time, those small habits will turn into large results. So, again, thank you so much, Nia, and all our listeners. Y'all already know we need y'all to stay safe, stay invested, and stay FYI fly. We'll see y'all next week.